Hello, hello, apa khabar? Selamat datang and welcome to Virtually Peranakan Fest 2023, celebrating our colorful culture. Welcome to the festival. My name is Alvin Un, the organizer and host from Peranakan Sayang. This is our fourth year of this annual online festival to keep our culture alive and kicking. And it is for Peranakans around the world. Do say hi in the comment section and tell us where in the world you are watching this live stream from in our comment section, of course. And I hope that you have been well. Suma bye. Say heart. Thank you so much for joining us in our festival. Now, for this program, we are going to Penang, and we're going there for a spicy journey of discovery with our very good friend Baba Peter Yeoh, who is an avid food lover who loves exploring food history, and he's going to give us some food for thought on the history of our much loved and time honored sambal. Oh, spicy. Yeah? So it's going to be a very interesting session. So we are going to present sambal, its history, origins, and impact on Nyonya food and culture. So let's welcome our presenter, Peter from Penang. Hello, Baba.
Hello, apa khabar, Alvin? Kamsia
Bye.
for inviting me. Yeah, and apa
Wow.
khabar to all Baba, Nyonya around the world? Very good to
Yes.
see you all.
Yes, indeed. It's all around the world. We have viewers from all over the world, from US, Canada, from Europe, from
Yeah.
Australia, of course, Malaysia and Singapore. Wow, so many.
Mhm.
Ramai orang. So today's session is
Ah.
very interesting. Something close to your heart. Food.
Yes. In fact, it was something that was came up from an article I wrote for the Michelin Guide just 3 weeks ago. It was published in the Michelin Guide because I'm the Michelin Guide's Penang writer, and my editor
Right.
say, Peter, can you write something about sambal? Since Baba Nyonya people all like sambal so much, so I wrote one article. The first article I wrote is actually on Nyonya food, which was published in the Michelin Guide in May. But 2 weeks ago, it was on sambal. So I
Yeah,
did quite a bit. Yeah, it's fun because when you talk about sambal, a lot of people it's close to their heart. Because orang Baba Nyonya kalau tak
suka
pedas
sih.
tak sedap. Huh?
That's right.
Mau
Andrew
makan
also
apa?
knows. Andrew said you wrote it for the Michelin Guide, which was published recently. Thanks, Andrew.
Yes. Comes here. Yeah, so I hope you
Mm,
enjoy reading it. But today, I'm not going to go into that much detail as what it was in my article, but I'm just going to take you through a bit of the history. Macam mana chili, cabe, can reach this part of the world because it doesn't grow here last time.
mm,
So that's why I want to delve into it. How did a crop from the New World, which is from Mexico in Americas, become such a part of our culinary culture that without sambal, makan pun tak lalu. That's right. So
mm,
I'm just going to take you through a bit of the history so we know how chili ended up here in this our part of the
mm.
world. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah,
So let's
if we can
let's
go.
talk about this. Yeah.
Yes, let's start the journey. Uh, of course, if you can go to the next slide, that's where I wanted to talk about how Christopher Columbus, uh, when he discovered the New World in 1492, that's when he came across the Chile.
Right. So on the
Okay.
slide right now, we have the origin
Mhm.
of chilies.
Yes, that's right. So Christopher Columbus, he actually led a Spanish expedition. He himself is Italian, he's from Genoa. But Genoa and Venice, since I think if you all follow the travels of Marco Polo, you can tell that time Venice and Genoa are the leading two cities in the world that's exploring, and of course, Christopher Columbus grew up in a seafaring kind of family. So from the time he's young, he's already sailed to many parts of like Northern Europe and Britain and even down to the North Africa. So when Christopher Columbus went to America in 1492, they also came across a lot of the crops that's being consumed by the American Indians at the time, the Mexicans, which is like chili, potato, jagung also, maize, a lot of things. And then they brought all this back to Europe. That was only in 1492, not that long ago, because subsequently just before that, 4 years earlier, in 1488, that's when Bartholomew Diaz, the Portuguese seafarer, rounded the Cape of Good Hope, which is in South Africa, and it opened up a new route to go to India. Okay. In that time, of course, in those years, India also, they flavor their food with black pepper. So the
Ah.
curry, the Indian curry, as you know today, wouldn't have chili yet. So it's black pepper. So 4 years after Bartholomew Diaz found a new route to India, that was when Christopher Columbus founded Chile in America and brought Chile back to Europe. Okay, so first, when you bring back to Europe, I think the initial Portuguese or Spanish people who sailed to Asia, they wouldn't be bringing Chile along with them, because their ship will be full of, the cannon and guns and all that, because they are there to conquer new worlds. They're not there to introduce Chile to your culinary culture. They're not trying to make your food taste better. They're going to, like subjugate you and rule over you. So you can see that. As recent as maybe 500 years ago, chili is not part of our diet, our food ingredient in this part of the world. So you can see from there, that was where chili came from, from Mexico, basically
Mm,
from the New World. Okay. Now,
right.
why did the Portuguese come to this part of the world? For that, we need to go just a bit further back. So the next slide, please. Okay, the next slide is about the spice trade, because the Europeans have been getting spices from the Far East for 1,000 years before that. When you talk about, for example, nutmeg. Nutmeg,
Yes.
the Europeans will use it for, you can't think of a Christmas pudding without nutmeg, right? A
Mm,
lot of times. When they think of Christmas and then the Christmas spice, they think about nutmeg. Now, nutmeg only grows on one place in the world at the time, which is the island of Banda. Banda is part of the Spice Islands,
right.
Kepulauan Maluku, the
Mm,
Moluccas. Now, for 1,000 years, that time before that, the spices, the sea-borne traders will go to the Spice Islands. They will bring nutmeg. They also bring cloves and all the other spices to
mm,
Malacca. Yeah, that
right.
time. So, and in Malacca, they will trade, they'll barter the nutmeg and spices. That time, they will have the traders from India, from the Arab countries, the Arabian seafarers, maybe are from modern day Yemen. But in those days, they are from the Red Sea. They say they're coming from the
Mm,
Red Sea ports. And they will buy the cloves and nutmeg and all that. And they will bring back to Arabia, the Middle East. And from there, the Arab caravans will then transport the nutmeg slowly upwards to the spice, the Silk Route. The Silk Route, of course, there's also another name. They call it the spice trade route. It will take them to Turkey and then to northern Italy, and from there, that's where it became its weight in gold. Because as we know,
mm,
yeah, when the nutmeg first came from the Spice Islands to Malacca, it was very cheap. It was maybe
right.
like, one handful is probably worth, I don't know, like maybe like modern day our 10 ringgit, or $5 Singapore or something like that. By the time it gets to Europe, that one handful is worth its weight in gold because of
Then
all the effort.
and there's a
They,
big nutmeg industry in Penang now.
yes, we will come to that
Yes.
because that time, yeah. Well, the thing is that, okay, let's talk about that one.
Mm,
One of the main reasons why the British came to Penang was also to break the stranglehold of the Dutch over the nutmeg
wow.
trade. Yeah, because
Okay.
the Dutch at the time was ruling over the Spice Islands. Of course, the Dutch at the time, they went to Sumatra, they went to Java, they went to various islands in the archipelago. Uh, of course, all these former Dutch colonies subsequently became modern day Indonesia, right? But in those days, they are all a disparate collection of sultanates and all that. Uh, so the Dutch were actually they're kind of cruel race actually, because when they went to Banda Island, which is the only place with nutmeg, the people in Banda actually opposed the Dutch, And I
Mm.
think, like, for example, there were a population of 2,000 people, and 1,800 were killed by the
Wow.
Dutch.
Wow.
80% or 90%. It was genocide. And then the
Mm.
Dutch will bring in the natives from other islands to come and take over
Mm.
the planting of the nutmeg. And then around just after that, it's still in the 15th century. I think the English tried to get in. And then there was one episode, if you Google, they'll talk about the massacre of the British in Banda Island, where I think the British and they got some Japanese mercenaries with them. I think they were accused of trying to undermine the Dutch, and then I think 11 of them were actually decapitated. They were
Wow.
executed there. Yeah. So when subsequently when Francis Light came to Penang and officially founded Penang in 1786. Uh, about 1795, which is 9 years later, the East India Company actually asked the Penang people in Penang who wants to go to Balik Pulau. Balik Pulau is a small town on the other side of the island, which
Penang,
today
right?
is
Yes.
very well, yeah, it's very well known for the nutmeg plantations.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that time they asked the people in Penang, the Chinese mainly who were coming, who wants to go and plant nutmeg because they actually smuggle in seedlings. I think roughly about 1,000 seedlings from the Moluccas, which is probably I don't know. They probably bribed some of the people there or even the Dutch administrator. And that time, they smuggled in 1,000 seedlings to Penang, and
Mm.
of course. When they ask the Chinese, the Hokkien people are not interested because they are the merchants. They dominate the trade in Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
The Cantonese are not interested. The Cantonese are into carpentry and all that, woodcraft, and also they are into the tin mining. The Hakkas
Mm-hmm.
are not interested. The Teochew not interested. No, sorry, the Hakka are the ones who are interested. The Hakka felt Balik Pulau, the hilly terrain in Balik Pulau,
Yeah.
reminded them somewhat of where they came from
Ah.
in China. So they agreed. So they
Right.
went, which is now
Interesting.
yeah. So until today, the Hakkas are the dominant dialect group in Balik Pulau.
And you get good durians there as well.
You get very good durian because durian also one hilly terrain. So
Yeah.
so it works both ways.
Mm.
Okay, durian became a major crop. Nutmeg became a major crop at the time. So Penang became the other island in the world that have nutmeg. And until
Mm.
today, like in Malaysia, if you go Penang, you go and buy nutmeg and all that. That's the thing. Nutmeg is a fruit, and what the Europeans wanted is that you just take out the flesh. You only want the seed, right? Which is
Yes.
where the nutmeg and the maize. Maize is the red covering the flowering. So they only want maize and nutmeg, and then they throw away the flesh. But of course, the Chinese, the Hakka people, they are typical Chinese. Chinese don't believe in wasting anything. When
Mm.
when you slaughter a pig, you don't throw away the ears or the tail or the snout. You still find a way to eat it, right? So
Yes.
similarly with nutmeg, why would you want to throw away the good flesh? But
You
of
consume
course,
everything.
yes. But nutmeg is very astringent, right? So you cannot eat it by itself. So you have to find various ways to treat it, right? So they will cure it with sugar, and they'll slice it thinly, and then but a lot of time it's the sugar. Sugar will negate the very acidic, astringent taste of the very siap lah. In
Mm.
Hokkien, very siap. So
Yeah.
that's how Penang became known for its pickled nutmeg and all that. And
Okay.
if you come to Penang, you can also have nutmeg juice, which is I think the
Yes.
only place in Malaysia where you can get nutmeg juice. Nowadays, of
Mm.
course, other towns try to serve
And
it, but then they'll get their nutmeg from Penang.
right. And oils
Okay,
as well.
yeah, and why did the Europeans come to this part of the world is for spice, but then
Yeah.
why did they have to sail? Why did they rely on the Portuguese to sail around the Cape of Good Hope? That's because of the fall of the Constantinople, which is the last of the Crusades lah. That's when
Mm.
the Turkish Empire overthrew the last of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire then was the Byzantium Empire, which is the
Mm.
eastern part of the Holy Roman Empire. So Constantinople was the capital, and when it fell, today is of course Constantinople is now known as Istanbul. So when it
Yes.
fell, the Ottoman Turks were very hostile to the Christian traders. So they don't
Mm.
allow the Christians to come along the traditional Silk route. Subsequently, they allow, but very, very heavy taxes, like probably 300% tax on what you sell. So
Right.
a lot of Europeans felt very bitter about it. That happened in in 1450s, 1453, I think, the fall of Constantinople. So that's when they start looking for an alternate route to go to the Far East without going through the overland route that's very
By sea.
dominated by, yeah, controlled by Ottoman Turks. So you can see Bartholomew Diaz trying to go around South Africa, and then Christopher Columbus tried to say, okay, let's keep sailing because the world is round. If we sail far enough, we will reach India. But of course, he
Yeah.
reached
They
a
went to
new
the wrong.
continent, America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he saw the native Indian American natives,
Call
they
them
call it
Indians.
Indians, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So our so all these come together, and everything happened very, very close together, isn't it? Like
Mm.
1488, they go around South African the continent and found the way to India. 1492, Christopher Columbus founded America and bring back the New World crops. And of course, by the 1490s, the Portuguese were already, landed in India. There were some skirmishes and all that because some
Yes.
some of the Indian kingdoms were quite hostile towards
Yes.
towards the newcomers. But by 1510, uh, the first Portuguese colony was established in Goa. So it became Portuguese Goa in
Mm.
1510. And 1 year later, the Portuguese attacked Malacca, 1511.
Wow.
So, and similarly, when the Portuguese first come to Malacca, because earlier the Malaccan Sultan was quite hostile to another Portuguese who came wanting to trade, Lopez de Sequeira. I think they attacked Lopez de Sequeira, killed some of the Portuguese, and then they went back quickly to Goa. And then there they marshaled a bigger force
Mm.
under the Alfonso de Albuquerque, and they came back and they waged war. And then, of course, they overthrew the last Sultanate of Malacca, Mahmud
Wow.
Shah. So, yeah.
Mm.
So, of course, in 1511, when they come, like I said, it's the same as in India. They wouldn't be bringing chili along let's
Yeah.
help you season your food better. They are bringing guns and all that, and soldiers, thousands of them, and then they
Oh.
wage war on Malacca. Yeah. So,
You're a historian.
yeah. Well, since we're going to look at how it started,
Yeah.
so subsequently, of course, Malacca was under Portuguese colonialism for, I think, until 1641 when the Dutch came in. So during the
Mm.
period when they were under the Portuguese, the Malacca became part of the Portuguese Empire, which stretched from Mozambique. Mozambique in Eastern Africa is also Portuguese, Goa, Malacca, and then even all the way to Macau. So,
Mm.
and for those of you who have been to Macau, I'm sure you have had the African chicken, right? Galinha Cafreal. That's a
Mm.
Eurasian dish from Malacca, which is very spicy, also use chili. Why was it called Galinha Cafreal? It's because when the Portuguese brought the chili, the first stop was actually Mozambique. And Mozambicans added chili to their cooking, so it's quite spicy. The Arab traders who went there at the time in Mozambique, they called the Mozambicans who are non-Muslims kafir, orang kafir, right? The infidels.
Mm.
So the
Mm.
soldiers called kafrial. So subsequently, the Mozambican soldiers who are in Goa and then in Macau are called the Cafreal. So
Mm.
galinha is a Portuguese word for chicken. So galinha Cafreal is actually infidel chicken. So and also
Let's
I
move
think
on the slides. Yeah.
yeah, okay, let's go to the next one.
This is what you mentioned earlier on about
Yes, yes, and then
the
how
Portuguese.
the
Hmm.
that's right, and okay, we can go on to the next slide. Let's see.
Introduction
Okay.
of chilies by the Portuguese.
Yes, yes. So you can see the Portuguese were credited with introducing the. When I go to Korea, I ask the Koreans, your kimchi. They say, yeah, the Portuguese brought it here. Of course, in Japan, they also accredited the Portuguese were bringing in the tempura. Like they say, tempura came from the Portuguese word tempor, which is like a cloak. So the better. So a lot of them they attributed it to the Portuguese, and even Sumatra and other. As of course, when it comes to the Siamese, you know the story of Maria Guiomar, who's a royal chef at the time in the kingdom of the Ayutthaya, King Narai. So you're talking about back in the even the 15th century, the Portuguese were already influencing Siamese diet. In fact, the people were saying that Maria Guioma, if I think even her entry in Wikipedia, they keep updating it because I remember initially Maria Guioma was credited with all the Thai desserts like Phoi Thong, Thong Yot, and all that, which is then subsequently spread to the northern part of Malaysia. So the Kelantan's Malay dessert jalamas is actually Phoi Thong.
Mm.
So you can see the Cik Mek Molek is actually Thong egg. So it's all the way that the Siamese influence came down. But she's also accredited, lately I saw the Wikipedia, she's also accredited with introducing curry puff. So curry
Mm.
puff, our curry puff, the Malay curry puff, is actually came from the Portuguese empanadas, and
Mm.
but the filling is actually influenced by Indian samosa. So it's Portuguese empanadas and Indian samosa. They get the curry puff,
Mm. At
which
least
is
sharing there's Thai egg desserts.
yes,
Yes.
exactly, correct.
Mm.
The Thai egg dessert, which is all using duck's egg yolk that's been cooked in the syrup. Yeah, so that's the. I I
And
only
even
re-
in
yeah,
Japan, the food is influenced from Portugal,
yes, exactly.
which includes
It's
the
those
typhoon tune in Nagasaki.
yes, yes.
Very interesting.
So yeah, Nagasaki and also Kamakura, they welcome
Mm.
a lot of foreign settlers at the time, the traders. So the Portuguese and other European countries have quite a bit of presence in Nagasaki and also in Kamakura, even
Mm.
during the 19th century. Okay, yeah. So you can see the Portuguese were actually quite responsible, influential in changing the world's dietary patterns.
Mm.
Yeah, and it changed it forever, forever. You can see what the picture, what the picture down there is. Nasi lemak. We always say
Right.
nasi lemak is a trinity. Trinity of what? Trinity of rice, santan, and sambal. Which means before
Mm.
the Portuguese came, we don't really have nasi lemak
Mm.
by our own definition. Tak ada
Right.
sambal, macam mana mau makan nasi lemak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nasi lemak does not predate the coming of the Portuguese. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah. Next
Introduction
slide.
of the chili.
Yeah. When they introduce the chili, they also have to introduce the way to prepare the chili. So, we had the batu lesong, the mortar and pestle. Batu lesong is actually, if you Google the Mexican molcajete, which goes even way back to the Aztecs, the Mayans, molcajete is our batu lesong. So when they
Mm.
brought the chili to India at the time, to Goa, they also brought along the implements used it. Yeah, because you have to use the molcajete to pound the chili to the kind of texture that you want. Of course, even our nyonya cooking, you can see like if you want to do sambal belacan, you want it very coarse. Sometimes when you put it on your blender and all that, it becomes too smooth. It doesn't work that way. But sometimes when you want to cook something like sambal tumis and all that, you want it more fine so that when you saute it, it will cook more evenly and all that. Okay. And the batu giling, batu giling is the one where the Mexican called metate is also used the same way. We slide the pestle along the
The
base,
stone.
the
Yeah.
square base. Yeah,
Mm.
the rolling pin is used. We use it as we push it back and forth to
Yes.
crush the chili. So you
Mm.
can see both the molcajete and the metate. We know it in Malaysia as or in Singapore as batu giling and batu lesong,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
similarly in India. Okay,
Mm.
okay, and then
So
next
all
slide.
these influences affect our lifestyle and
Our lifestyle, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And then we talk about our Nyonya cuisine. Nyonya cuisine, as you all know, we have the northern Nyonya, which is centered in Penang, but we can also get the similar kind of dishes in Taipei, which is northern Perak, and then also in Kedah. So these are the more like Penang Nyonya cuisine. Southern Nyonya cuisine, of course, is centered in Malacca. And Singapore Nyonya cuisine is actually, by extension, it came from Malacca because a lot of Peranakan in Malacca, they went to Singapore ever since Singapore's founding in 1819. When the British founded Penang in 1786, they did tell the Babas of Malacca, if you want to continue your trading relationship with us, you have to move to Penang. You cannot stay in Malacca because our
Mm.
trading will be centered in Penang. So the
Penang,
Malaccans were
that's right.
moving to Penang. Yeah, that
That's
was
right.
how the Penang Baba Nyonya culture started. It started off
Mm.
with Malaccan Babas who moved up with their families. But subsequently, then in 1819, when Singapore was founded, the Malaccans started going to Singapore instead. By then, the British turned around and said, hey, now you have to come to
Nope.
Singapore, you don't go Penang. Yeah, so so people like what Tan Tock Seng lah, all the the original pioneers, they all
Mm.
started going to Singapore at that time.
Yes,
Then
yes.
of course, because of that, then Penang started also having a lot of influences with the people in Phuket and southern
That's right.
Thailand. So the
That's right.
Chinese influence came in and started influencing Penang's food, and the
Mm.
Burmese were also there. Burmese came in. A lot of them, because they want to trade, and some of them were also refugees from their own civil strife.
Mm.
Uh, a lot of Chinese were also Christians. At one point, the Christians in Phuket have to escape. They first go to Kedah, and then from Kedah, when Francis Light founded Penang, they begged Francis Light, let us settle in Penang. Then Francis Light actually sent his ships to fetch them from Kuala Kedah and settle in Penang in
Oh.
1786 itself. Yeah,
Mm.
that time, the Siamese king who threatened the Christians, was King Taksin, and
Mm.
he was a very good king, but towards the later part of his life, he became a bit mentally unstable. He
Mm.
was subsequently killed by his own general, and his
Ah.
general who killed him became the Rama the First of the Chakri dynasty.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and the current Thai king is Rama the 10th. So King
Mm.
Bhumipol is Rama the 9th. So Rama the
Mm.
first was actually the general who killed the King Taksin of the last dynasty. And he
Mm.
was the one who threatened the Christians in Phuket.
Mm.
Uh, so you can see Penang Nyonya cooking has a lot of also Achinese and Medan influences. For my own family, I'm a sixth generation Penang Baba. My great great grandpa came from Asahan. Asahan in Sumatra is just south of Medan. Then I see a lot of Penang Baba that I know whose ancestors 5 6 generation ago were from Aceh. Then
Mm.
of course we also have those who have come from Phuket and all that. So you can see our northern Sumatra influence the Penang Nyonya cooking.
Mm.
Similarly, from Burma, that like the Burmese when they first landed in Penang, uh, the they settled in a village in Pulau Tikus called Ava. Ava village is that time the capital of Burma is Ava. So Kampong Ava, but somehow the local pronunciation become Kampong Awak.
Mm.
Then and they make pickles with chili and with cucumber and with pineapple, and they call it acha, the acha awak. So become acha
Mm.
awak. The Penang acha awak was from the orang awak lah, because
Yeah.
these are the Burmese people lah.
So Father Chris has shared that there are Catholic refugees of Portuguese and Thai ancestries from the UTI
Yes, yes,
originally. Yeah.
yes.
So these
In fact,
refugees today as the parish of the Church of the Immaculate Conception in Penang.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly.
Mm.
In fact, they also met up with the Malaccan Portuguese Eurasian. They were who went to Phuket at the time, because when the Dutch took over Malacca in 1641, at one point they expelled all Catholics because the Dutch are Protestants, right? So
Mm.
a lot of the Catholic, especially Portuguese Eurasian, moved to other states, even the Penang, and some went to Phuket. where they are
Mm.
welcome. The
Yeah.
Phuket Catholics are under the French missionary.
Mm.
Even today, subsequently, even you look at Georgetown in Penang, we have Bishop Street and we have Church Street. The
Mm.
Church Street is where the first French Catholic Church was set up, and the Bishop Street is where the Bishop Garneau was the one who was leading the church. That's where his house is. So you
Mm.
can see there's a lot of influences there. Uh, okay, back to our Nyonya cooking. In
Yes.
Malacca and Singapore is actually influences by the southern part of Sumatra.
Mm-hmm.
Minang is actually central Sumatra. The southern is the Riau, and of course today you can also have the Riau Islands, which is quite near your Batam and Bintan and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Singapore gets a lot of influence from Riau, from Java. So we got a lot of Javanese came up. So like
Mm.
ayam bakaloa is like used in Javanese rawon. Yeah? But you can see the sambal, the chili is present whether it's
Ever present.
northern or southern. Yeah, Nyonya cooking is ever present.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's go to the looking at the local dishes. In Penang, we have juhu cha. Juhu cha is, of course, a hikama, which is a bangkwang, sliced finely, and we cook it with dried cuttlefish. Uh, I do believe that this dish it probably came from Burma, because I'm trying to look at Thai cooking. Thai cooking doesn't have it. It's very unique to Penang. I know it's unique to Northern Nyonya, because last year when GT Lai came, I brought him to a Nyonya restaurant, and he said, "What is this juhu cha?" Because he hasn't tasted it before, but he liked it so much that the next day when he met up Pearly Key, he did ask Pearly, "Can you show me how to cook jiu cha?" So jiu cha is a very northern dish. We'll serve it with sambal belacan at the side. You
Mm.
must have sambal belacan. So
Right.
jiu cha itself does not have chili in it, but you serve it as a wrap. You have the lettuce leaf, they put some sambal belacan, they put the jiu cha on top of it. Yeah. It's a bit similar to the like when you cook southern nyonya dish, like ayam pongte or babi pongte. The dish itself doesn't have chili, but you want
Mm.
to have sambal belacan at the side to eat it. You put it with the rice, and then you have it. So you are using sambal as a condiment or as a dip.
Yeah.
And nasi lemak. Then the picture I show you is the typical Penang Nyonya nasi lemak lah. Penang
Mm.
Nyonya nasi lemak have what we call asam hair, which is the tamarind prawns, the prawn marinated in
Lovely.
tamarind, and yeah, and then
Mm.
asam hu. Asam hu is
Mm.
the fish, usually mackerel,
Mm.
which is ikan kembung, or sela kuning with yellow tail scat. Also marinated in asam, then deep fried. Then must have a dollop of sambal belacan at the side.
Mm.
We don't have gravy and all that. So that's Penang Nyonya nasi lemak lah. I noticed like in Malacca, your nasi lemak is different. That you have the kangkong. So you see kangkong, right? They say, oh, that's a Malacca style nasi lemak. Right? Singapore, then we have fried chicken. We have other things that come in.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's different
KL one
variations of the nasi lemak.
variation,
Yes.
variations. Yeah, KL we have curry chicken and all that.
Mm.
But in Penang, we also have all these types of nasi lemak. But if you want to look at, this one that just nasi lemak, but no gravy one, all this, that's the Nyonya one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
the
so
only
a lot
condiment
of
is
times when there was always discussion about the origins of nasi lemak. Actually, it's quite
yes.
it's quite varied, and it's quite a shared thing over history and
Yeah,
time. So you can't put your
correct.
finger down to it.
Yes, and there are so many types. It's the whole Nusantara have nasi lemak now. Originally, is defined as a Sumatran
Mm.
dish, which is on both sides of the Straits of Malacca lah. Orang Sumatra pun ada, orang Semenanjung Melayu pun ada. Yeah, but now we can find it all the way, even up
All
up to
over.
the Moluccas. Kepulauan
Yeah.
Maluku also got their own nasi lemak Maluku. Yeah, they don't call nasi lemak, they call nasi uduk in Indonesia. Any rice with
Mm.
the coconut milk, nasi uduk. Yeah.
Yeah, Ahmad
Okay.
from Indonesia also sharing. He has favorite Nyonya food: ayam pongte, kari ikan Nyonya, kuih ketayap, and kuih lapis. Thanks for sharing,
Yeah.
Ahmad.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it? Food brings people together. People,
Absolutely. You should not
yeah.
divide us. You should unite us.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Next slide, please. Gulai tumis, that's another Penang dish. There are actually Penang gulai tumis. You can see from the picture, is a bit more liquid. The kedah also have gulai tumis, but the kedahan will cook it longer, so it's got thicker sauce. Popiah in Penang, you notice has got some gravy there. I think whereas the one in Malacca or the one in Singapore, we don't put gravy on top. This so the popiah. But inside the wrapping, of course, we have sambal belacan. You must have sambal belacan. Yeah.
Mm,
The filling is also bangkwang, but we don't put cuttlefish, no juhu for our popiah.
mm.
So our popiah filling and our kueh pai tee filling are similar and will not have cuttlefish, just the bangkwang, and then we'll have carrots sometimes, we have tau kwa, things like that. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
We have so much to talk about when it comes to food, but we have
Oh
to wrap it
yes.
up in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes. Okay. So very
Yeah,
quickly, let's
yeah,
go on to the
yeah.
next one. Next is Southern Nyonya cooking. Of course, like I said earlier, ayam buah keluak. You can see that the sambal it forms part of the rempah. So this ayam buah keluak is the one that I cook it myself. This one, oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
I use Mrs. Lee Ching Kun's recipe that I always use. I always use Lee Ching Kun or Mrs. Leong Yisu, the two sisters. Their
mm-hmm.
recipe and it works. I really like it. Babi Pongte, of course, does not have chili in it, but it has sambal belacan as a side condiment. You can't have babi pongte without sambal belacan at the side. It won't be a complete meal. Okay, so that these dishes are familiar to Singapore Baba Nyonyas because they got it from the share is a shared culinary heritage from Malacca Nyonya cooking.
Mm.
The next slide is on Nyonya Chap Chai. This Nyonya Chap Chai, I think I had it. I took this picture at the Peranakan Mansion at Huron Street
Mm.
in Malacca.
Mm-hmm.
Best Nyonya restaurant in Malacca at the moment. I think the Chef Bong is very, very good. Uh, then the Nyonya Laksa, which I really, really like, and of course, it's very spicy, is by Jennifer Tan, Donald and Lily's
Of
the
course, our good
daughter.
friend. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, very good. And Donna and Lily make fantastic laksa, But the
Yes, I had
daughter,
laksa.
yeah, but Jennifer seems to even elevate it to the next level. I felt.
Yeah,
I thought she even make it even better, even even tastier
I
compared
had
to
her
what I'm.
laksa just last month. It was sedap, man.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, so lucky. Yeah.
yeah.
So that picture I took, I think last December when I was in Malacca, and we went there. In fact, we were late. We were so afraid that it'll run out, but because we are going to reach Malacca 3 o'clock. So I just called ahead. Said Jennifer will be coming. Please reserve some for us.
Yeah. She's a lovely
Okay.
lady.
Yeah, very, very talented. Yeah. Well, anyway, I left some time for Q&A because I know if I talk about food, it can go on forever and ever. So
Ayo,
I
you
thought,
tak habis lah you. Your history of the food already will have, you can take hours talking about your history, but you have
yeah.
a wonderful wealth of knowledge of history, especially in relation to food. I think food really inspires
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and your sharing of how all the food came about and how it affected our
Yeah.
cuisine and influenced our
Yeah.
cuisine. It's simply an amazing journey that all the chilies have traveled around the world. So we're quite thankful
Yeah.
in a way,
Yeah.
but this is how history works. It influences
It
the
is. It is.
communities and countries and all that.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have any questions, for those of you who are watching this live stream right now, please post it on the comment section. If you have any questions to ask our Baba Peter, our food
Yeah.
connoisseur from Penang,
Yeah. Yeah. You can
please
see.
type in. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that our Baba Nyonya people, Peranakan people have been around, since even you go to Lasem in Indonesia, they've been there since the 12th, 13th century. But the current Baba Nyonya culture that we know, even our cuisine, the way we dress, and our, the collection of kamche, is during the golden era of the Peranakan, which is roughly 1820s to 1920s, that
Mm.
100 years. That was the golden age of our Peranakan culture. And that 100 years, the way we are dressed, the way we eat, the way we live, our, all the pantang larang, all thing came from that 100 years. But
Yes,
also that
many
100 is
influences.
also, yeah, yeah. That's why they say, oh, how come you pakai kebaya? You don't pakai kebaya normal day. But they say, we only wear for special occasion, our wedding,
Hmm.
our where did that come from? Though it's from the 1920s that time.
Yeah.
baju panjang, all that. Huh? Yeah.
So Father Chris is sharing that in his family they also have sambal udang
Oh
in
yes.
their nasi lemak. I think that's
Oh
quite
yes.
common as well. I think we all love
Yes.
the sambal udang,
Yes. Yes.
but I
Very
do
good.
enjoy the asam udang as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sambal udang is so popular in Penang,
Mm.
and we even have sambal udang Malay style, we have Chinese style,
Yes.
Nyonya style, Yeah.
So this is a little bit off topic, but we try to answer it. Penang's perut ikan. What's the origin?
What's the origin? From southern Thailand. I forgot the name already, but in the southern Thais have a similar dish. 80% the same. Also use the not pig stomach, fish stomach.
Fish
Yeah,
stomach.
yeah, yeah. So it's a southern
Wonderful.
Thai dish. Yeah, but of course Penang we put down. No, we put the sand ginger. We call it cekor. Cekok. We pronounce it cekok. Indonesia call it kencur. It's one of the herbs that they use inside perut ikan.
Mm.
I don't think the southern Thai version has that. Uh, yeah,
So
I,
Ellie's asking, what about Cornish pastries or pasties?
yeah. Well,
Do you know?
Cornish paste, I don't know because Cornish pastry also have some influences from like external influence. I think she's asking because yes, it's the same shape as the empanadas, the same shape as the
Mm.
Portuguese or Spanish empanada.
So Celia is enjoying the session. Good to hear how the sambal came about. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you,
And,
Celia. And
and
yeah,
Lily, sambal buka selera.
yes, of course. Yeah,
Very good. And we got,
Celia's
mm,
yeah,
sorry.
Celia's mother is also a gourmet, Auntie Alice. She's very good. Yeah,
Yeah, so we have
and
people from around the region, and quite a few Penangites are also watching this stream. And we also
yes.
have Keith. Say hi, Keith. And we
Hello,
also
Keith.
have Ibe Rani from
Iberani.
Pekalongan. Mm.
Apa kabar?
Yeah, so good to see all
Yeah.
of you. And of course, our dear good friend Phoenix Emily is also watching the show.
Emily. Hi,
Hello.
Emily. Yeah. Want to
Okay,
sing a song?
uh,
Okay.
I think, okay, I got a little information here that
Yes.
perut ikan geng Thai
Uh,
pla is from
Kang.
southern Thailand. Just
Okay.
cooked a bit
Thank you.
differently.
No, it's called Kang Thai Pla from South
Mm.
Thailand. Because remember,
You
I
must
said I
have
forgot
the
the
Thai
name.
accent. Okay.
Yes, yes. Yes, it's cooked different. That's correct. Yeah, because we adapted it, but it became different. The way
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
cook it. Huh?
And Keith just confirm that's the correct name.
Kang Thai Pla. Yeah.
Okay, Peter,
Okay.
thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I think everybody is glued whenever it comes to about food. I think lots of foodies out there. Thank you
Yes.
so much for
And
that wonderful presentation.
you're most welcome. So next time you look at your little saucer of sambal belacan, then you think about how it came about. Yeah,
Mm.
how it ended up here. Something from Mexico ended up here.
Yes, all around the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank
that's
you.
the end of this program. Thank you so much once again, Baba
Thank you
Peter
very
Yeoh
much.
from Penang, for sharing the history and the journey of the sambal. Now, we certainly hope you enjoyed it. Do follow our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all the latest updates and all the links for the remaining part of our festival. Now, our next program will be starting in just a few minutes' time at 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 or Singapore time. We are going to have a very interesting session with Baba Matt Tan from Singapore. He's going to share about Baba Malay sayings and pantang. So that should be quite fun. So please click on the next program link to join us. This has been virtually Peranakan Fest 2023. My name is Alvin Un, and I will see you soon. Kamsia, everybody, for joining, and bye bye. Thank you so much, everyone.